A big hello and a very warm welcome to a special travel series, Visit Victoria, partnered by ET Now. My name is Sonali Krishna, and I'm going to be taking you on a journey across Victoria.
Victoria, as the smallest mainland state in southeastern Australia, is quickly earning a reputation for its breathtakingly diverse attractions, picturesque natural wonders, and a bustling food and wine scene. From Melbourne as the hub of urban artistry to the glorious grape-laden vineyards in the Yarra Valley, from the lush green Central Highlands in the Grampians to the deliciously panoramic coastal towns along the Great Ocean Road. Victoria is every bit different. We start our day once again in the city of Melbourne. Beginning our morning with a visit to Block Arcade, Melbourne's iconic retail destination for fashion, luxury, and other specialty stores. Established in 1892, the Arcade in the central business district of Melbourne hosts a boutique shopping experience. After the shops at the Block and adjoining Royal Arcades, we whisk through the artistic streets of Melbourne, the AC/DC lane and the Hossia lane. Spot a Banksy original and arrive at the most exclusive lunch scene in the city, the Gimlet. Stepping into the world of nostalgia and glamour at the Chicago-style building of the Cavendish House, Gimlet is a heritage gem lavishly reimagined by Andrew McConnell and Acme with an elegant menu. After an excellent lunch service, we set off to the Loom, Melbourne, to step inside the opening day of the world's most famous works of art by Leonardo da Vinci. Watching as Mona Lisa, the Virgin and Child with Saint Anne and many others come to life on the Loom's colossal canvas. After the Loom, we head over to Farmer's Daughter to catch up with chef Alejandro Saravia, whose Peruvian tradition is buzzing through the Melbourne Epicurean scene.
So, tell me a little bit about, a Peruvian boy landing up in Australia as the final destination and becoming a big brand to reckon with in Victoria.
Thank you. Well, yeah, as you said, my path had a little bit of interruption in between, and look, I was always sure that I wanted to be a chef. I love hospitality. I love to entertain at home or even in the restaurants, and have that connection with food, with customers, with people, but with the whole concept of sharing a meal around a table and sharing stories, sharing passion and flavors. But when I was growing up in Peru, I was very fortunate because I was growing up very, very close to my grandmother. And so once a week I was visiting my grandmother, and we were going to the markets. And I was, since a very young age, I discover or experience that relationship with ingredients, with the people behind the ingredients, so that knowledge, that passion was also transferred into the way we used to select the ingredients. And that was the trigger point for me to decide to take on this career. I was in high school, and I remember one day I told my father that I wanted to be a chef, and my father is a very traditional man, and I remember him saying, "Well, I haven't exposed you to really great education for you to end up flipping burgers in a restaurant." And back in those days, the chef career or the restaurateur career wasn't appreciated to the way it is now. I remember he proposed a deal where I was going to be going to school after high school, in the evenings, to pursue that chef diploma or career. And then after school, I had to finish school. I was going to be able to take a year off as a gap year to experience and live that chef life experience, travel, and then go back to Lima and study a proper career where I was going to be able to pay the bills and then utilizing my chef skills to entertain friends and family at home on the weekend. So I went back to Peru and studied marketing and business, which I do enjoy a lot as well, that business side of things, the marketing side of things. And now if I reflect now on that deal back in those days, it's probably the best deal that I have done in my life, because those skills that I acquired, studied marketing and business, or working in Johnson & Johnson as a early brand manager or apprentice of a brand manager, the same at L'Oreal, Paris, had got me the skills to be able to communicate what I do as a chef, what I do in the restaurants, to be able to create those experiences as well, and also to be able to have a good business sense on, how a restaurant should be run, putting aside the passion, putting aside the focus on the food and the wine.
Right. Very interesting. And then, when did you land in Australia?
I arrived end of 2006, and
For a holiday?
For a working holiday. The idea was only to stay here for no more than 8 months and then go back to my restaurant, the restaurant that I was working, L'Ambassadors in Paris.
Okay.
But I saw that the hospitality industry was growing so much back in those days. There was a lot of chefs coming back to Australia, and they were doing great things. So I thought that I was wasting time by not, having those experiences with me. And I decided to venture and go back to fine dining here while I was here. I decided to open Morena in 2010. It was a trial project of a restaurant, and that was the first restaurant that I opened in my career.
In Surrey Hills?
In Surrey Hills in Sydney. And without much experience, to be honest, but with a lot of passion, a lot of hard work, really good people around me, not only on the front of house, but the back of house as well, but people around the business that helped me to understand this business more and more.
Fair.
We managed to have a very successful restaurant for 2 years, which was the length of the lease. And then at that point, I was looking for the next step. And that's when I came to Melbourne to open my second restaurant, Pastuso.
14.
in 2014. Melbourne being the gastronomical capital of Australia.
Okay.
And it's that city that has the culture, the food, the art, the passion that is supported by a very strong and very professional hospitality industry.
Yeah.
The culture here as well, and mainly it's because of the weather as well here in Melbourne, that it's a little bit up and down. You can have all the four seasons in one day, and that's why I decided to move to Melbourne.
Farmer's Daughter, where we're sitting at, and then there's Victoria
By
Farmer's Daughter. Why Farmer's Daughter?
So when I was exploring Gippsland, I recognized the female influence or the female presence in the farming industry. You know, when you think about a farmer, Australian farmer, you think about this male presence with a Cobra hat, the Aaron Williams goods, you know, very strong man working the land.
Yeah.
But the reality, and I think after visiting different farms, after exploring our farm culture, is the women, the female presence that keeps everything together, from the family to the business to the farm. There's a lot of female farmers nowadays that are taking over their father's farms, their family farms, and they are doing amazing things with a completely different approach, keeping the traditions alive, but with a fresh vision on how the farming industry should work. It should evolve, and I think that should be celebrated.
Finally, a fine meal to end our day. It's dinner at Victoria by Farmer's Daughter. Chef Alejandro Saravia's groundbreaking farm-to-table experience that celebrates the produce, places, and people of Victoria. The next morning, we make the drive to Ballarat and arrive at Sovereign Hill, a living museum to see the olden days of Australia's gold rush. There, we get a gold star experience with the help of leading hand Andre Prince.
Welcome to Sovereign Hill.
What a quaint place this is.
It is, it's a very unique place. So this is a open-air, living, breathing museum.
Okay.
It's established in 1970, which is to tell us all about life in Ballarat during the gold rush.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If you'd like, we'll start our tour. We'll head up in the main street and I'll show you the main street of Ballarat, 1855.
1855. So we are in 1855.
We are now transformed into the past. Sovereign Hill represents the town of Ballarat. So pre the gold rush, pre-1855, Ballarat was pastoral land, so we had what was called squatters. So people that owned large tracts of land, and basically they had sheep. But then in 1851, someone discovered gold. And that, randomly, yep, in a creek looking for gold. They found gold and that turned the whole thing on its head, and hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world started flocking here.
So people start flocking to Sovereign Hill.
Indeed, well, to Ballarat and Bendigo, yep.
Yeah. And now we're in 1855.
1855, so the gold rush has been going for a few years, and a town is growing from all of that wealth. Okay. So we can wander up and show you the town?
Sure.
All right.
And so it's a community by itself.
What we are in is we're in an open-air museum representing what that place was like in 1855. You cannot have a town without a newspaper. So one of the first newspapers in Ballarat in the 1850s was the Ballarat Times.
Oh, okay.
Now the man who ran the Ballarat Times was Henry Seacamp. Henry Seacamp was part, if I don't know if you've ever heard of the Eureka Rebellion.
Right.
It's a very important building behind me here. This is our post office. Now I don't know, with normal addresses in streets you'd have a number and the postman would deliver to you. That doesn't happen here. We don't have street numbers and people all live in tents. So if you needed to get your mail, you had to come to the post office.
Oh, okay.
So this was always sort of central in town and in the hub. Good day, Constable. How are you, sir? Nice to see you there.
Hello.
How are you today?
Just taking Sonali around showing her the fineries of the Ballarat Township, sir. This is our resident policeman, so
Oh, wow.
as long as we're well behaved.
Street here.
Is that the Contessa up the street, sir? Oh. So this is our post office. That's our postmistress there. Good day, Miss Page. How are you, Mum? Nice to see you. If you needed to find your letters, this is where you came. Our tent makers here. Very important indeed, because a lot of people up until 1860 were living in tents. And you notice the flags there. As we said, we didn't have numbers on houses, so often if I wanted to know where, let's say, where's Sonali's tent? Well, Sonali's got the green flag with the yellow circle. I'd know where to find you in the diggings. New York Bakery. It's interesting that a lot of our, you may have noticed Hope Bakery, New York Bakery. So this is a restaurant here. Now at Sovereign Hill, modern day, this is where you can come and have an a la carte meal and sit down and sort of immerse yourself in the opulence of the 1850s. I think we're having lunch there today, maybe, I don't know. But hence New York, it's that American presence again. So with those Californian miners coming here in the late 49ers coming in the early 1850s, there were quite a few Americans here, and I guess that's where our name comes from. Of course, all things English too, the town of York in England as well, so a very strong influence from the Americans and from the English. So that's where we get something to eat. Look, there's some toffee apples there, one of our... You've had a toffee apple before?
No.
Sir, can we have a look at your toffeed apples there? Oh, thank you. We'll just
Take that one.
Good day, Master Joel. How are you?
Oh, very good.
There you are.
So this is called a toffee apple.
This is a toffee apple, a green apple covered in our famous Sovereign Hill toffee. So, now, oh, by the way, Mark, if you're not feeling well today, this is the apothecaries. Mr. Henry Seacamp there. Good day, Mr. Seacamp, sir. How are you? He's the editor of the Ballarat Times that I was telling you
Oh,
about.
I'm a journalist myself. It is indeed a pleasure to meet the editor.
Oh, thank you very much. Yes. Yes, there's been some times that I've actually been writing. You realise, of course, I was responsible for writing in the Ballarat Times around the time of the rebellion.
I believe so. I believe you were charged with sedition.
How you knew that?
He told me.
I did mention.
But I was the only person here on the goldfields that experienced a prison sentence.
That's true, sir. Yeah.
Nothing much has changed in the world, sir.
Have you been?
I'm from the future.
And you've been in prison?
Not yet.
When miners first came here and they first discovered gold, they found it in creeks, not underground yet. So just in the creeks, panning for gold.
Okay.
So that's what we'll go now. We'll try and try our luck, Mum, and see if we can find some gold. I heard you're an expert, sir.
Expert. That's very generous.
Shannon, you're
That's
Shannon.
right, yes. Mr. Nichols, you can call me if you like. Shannon's just fine.
Shannon Sonali.
Yes, lovely. Sonali?
Yes.
Lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet
I
you.
will step back and allow this man to do his work.
Wish me luck.
Good luck indeed.
You pop a shovel down here. Now you want to dig deep because the gold sinks. So you dig nice and deep. And you get a shovel full of dirt here in the pan, like so. And that's actually all we need the shovel for. Not too much more with that. And you take up a position just down by the bank, and you fill your pan with water. You give it a really good shake. Now, you might worry that I'm losing all the gold around here,
Yeah.
but I'm not, because the gold's really heavy. So it's
Oh.
always going to sink straight to the bottom.
I see.
So you can shake it pretty roughly, actually, it's just fine. And then you can let the water do some work for you and wash out that top layer. Eureka! Look at that! It's probably the biggest piece I've found all day. You can keep that. You can keep that. A present from me to you.
Is this really gold?
I think so.
Well done, mate.
Really?
Lunch?
I am indeed.
I think can I come?
Lunch is on me. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
It's been a
Lovely to have
pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are truly my lucky charm.
Stop it. Stop it. You flatter me.
You've done
Good
very
day to
well.
you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Nichols. Much
Very good.
appreciated.
I'm going to go have myself a cup of tea. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, sir. You too. That was quite the find.
It was.
It's interesting. I didn't see it at the start.
2.5.
Can you break it?
I'm going to try.
All right. No. Maybe we could go. I know a place that melts down gold.
Yeah?
We could go to the gold pool.
Let's do that.
Oh, let's do that. All right, fantastic.
Take crucible like that, and all the gold from next door straight into there. About a cup of gold, tiny gold pieces. On top of those gold pieces, a little bit of borax powder. Borax goes in there for all the impurities, silver and copper, to stick to it. Crucible. Straight into the furnace. This is the mould that we're about to pour into. And this is a simple cast iron mould. This will make 3 kilogram, 100 ounce gold bar. Yes, mate.
After the wildly immersive history lesson at Sovereign Hill, we then head to the Ballarat Wildlife Park set among the gum trees to hand feed the kangaroos and cuddle with the koalas. We also had a chance to chat with the head keeper, Emma McKinsey.
I'm really excited about this interview because I've never interviewed a head zookeeper.
I think you make it sound fancy than it is.
I think to me, I'm absolutely fascinated. What does that really mean, head zookeeper?
So we're in charge of certain rounds. So I look after carnivores, furry ones. So I take care of our dingoes, our devils, our meerkats and our quolls, and just make sure they're getting absolutely everything they need for a happy life.
Tell me a little bit about the place that we're at the moment. What do you house? What is very peculiar to the region here? And what's your average day look like?
Yeah. So here at Ballarat Wildlife Park, we've been running since the 80s, so 1985. So it's privately owned, but it's been around for a really long time. Sure. So we house a huge range of animals. We have hundreds of reptiles. We have heaps of bird species, some of our really beautiful native marsupials, and obviously the coolest is the carnivores. So the average day looks like coming in, checking on all the animals, just making sure they're doing well. We do a lot of feeding. We do a lot of heavy, hard work. We're carrying around wheelbarrows and poo. A lot of it is poo. It's not quite so glamorous. And enrichment, so we like to make sure our animals have more than just food and water, but something different and something interesting every day. So we put in lots of different cool things for them to play with as well.
And if you look at just the variety of animals that you have here, for instance, I had a great time feeding the kangaroo. I've never done that ever in my life, and it was absolutely exquisite. And then I played with the meerkats, which they were so playful and engaging. Do you allow your visitors to engage with the animals?
Yes, I find it a really good way for people to appreciate wildlife. So we have lots and lots of free roaming kangaroos that people can come in and they'll feed them, and people absolutely love it. The kangaroos hold on to your hand just to make sure you're not taking that food away from them. So very interactive. We do run daily talks with the keepers as well. So we give you a little bit of information about a few animals that we like to talk about conservation. And we also do encounters with a lot of animals. So you can come in and you can get really close and personal with things like our koalas, our snakes, if that's what you're into.
Koalas!
Yes, the tigers and the meerkats as well. So.
Talk to me a little bit about the different conservation programs that you have.
Yeah, we've got some really cool stuff happening here. We have a Manning River turtle re-release program, which is really important. We do lots of different days and did fundraising activities for things like our koalas. We did a whole month for Save the Koala. We do a Tassie Devil Day every year, and that raises money and awareness as well for the animals in the wild. We have a junior keeper program where we try and get young people involved and interested in conservation and in zookeeping, which is really important as well. We also do our daily talks. We have a conservation message in those as well.
For my audience back at home, why do you think they should travel all the way to Australia and come and spend some time here? What's in it for them?
Yeah, all right. So Victoria have some amazing wildlife. So you can go to the Grampians, you can see lots of kangaroos and emus. You can go down to the Otways, you can see beautiful koalas in the wild. You can go across east, you can go to Phillip Island and see our penguins. You can go to wonderful places. You can go further east and see wombats in the wild, or you can come to Ballarat and you can see all of that in one place.
Okay. Well, this has been a fantastic experience. I haven't interacted with animals like the way you made me interact with them, so thank you so much.
Join us next time when we head out to the lush green acres of Yarra Valley and the coastal charm of Mornington Peninsula.